There's nothing like summertime here in the North Carolina Triad. And when it comes to the season's can't-miss events, at the top of the list is the Coal Pit Live Music Series at Incendiary Brewing in downtown Winston-Salem. And this year, our wonderful partners at the Ginther Group are proud to sponsor it to help provide unforgettable fun all summer long. The 2025 schedule begins on May 31st and runs all the way through Incendiary's 7th anniversary party on September 13th. If you visit theginthergroup.com or follow them on Facebook and Instagram, you'll be able to see the details on every upcoming show, along with any special promotions. Again, a huge shout out to the Ginther Group Real Estate for sponsoring this year's Coal Pit Live Series at Incendiary Brewing. And a great way to join us in helping to say thank you, just keep them in mind for all your real estate needs. It's one simple phone call, 336-283-8689, or just one simple click to theginthergroup.com. The upcoming podcast of Twin City Talk is produced by Tim Beeman of Such and Such Media. Start your own podcasting journey by visiting suchandsuchmedianc.com. These podcasts are produced weekly, and every episode can be found at their website, twincitytalk.com.
Welcome to Twin City Talk. Today we're talking with Martha Larson with Forsyth Tech Small Business Center. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah. So tell us all that the Small Business Center does for the community.
Can you fit all that in one podcast?
Yeah.
It's so funny when people say, "What's your day like?" And I'm like, it changes from day to day. But primarily, we are here to support business owners in operations of their business, whether that could be startups or existing businesses that need a little help in certain areas. So the Small Business Center is a statewide network. We are housed at the community college system. So our community college, Forsyth Tech, covers Forsyth and Stokes. A lot of the small business centers do cover multiple counties, but that's so that every county has access to these services. Our services are free, and we provide primarily business skills education, mentorship, and referrals. And I say referrals because I see making connections to be a huge part of what I do, making sure that I know who the players are, who the regulatory agencies are, and stuff like that, so that I can refer people out to people that they need to know. I love it when I connect clients, and I have clients start to partner and things like that. But I see that kind of connection being a huge part of what we do. So I do a lot of community outreach. We do have a team. Carolyn Bennett Sullivan is our part-time small business specialist, and Nell Perry is the SBC programming coordinator, because we do have a lot of events. We have over 80 events every year.
Yeah, that's a lot. What are some, I'm guessing there's common ones, what are some of the struggles most of the small businesses come to you with?
So sadly, a lot of times they come to us a little bit late, and like they say, oh, we need funding, or, a lot of people think that they can look for grants and stuff like that, and there are very few grants, if at all. We did just have a capital coach session on business grants where we did go over a few, because North Carolina is lucky enough to have NCIDEA that does have some for-profit-based grants, but those are for high-growth kind of businesses, so there are very few for startups and things like that. But I love it when people come to us early in the planning stages, or when they start to see something's happening. Like, a lot of business owners don't know where their money's going. Hey, we made 6 figures this year, but I don't know where it is, and that kind of thing. So those kind of skills and that kind of training, it's great to have as early as possible.
Yes, definitely. So do you do any marketing type stuff? Or
you mean as far as
teaching or any of that type?
Yeah, so we have marketing mentors that specialize in certain things, website development, social media and
So
things
I do
like
marketing. That's why I was at SET.
Okay, yeah,
Other than
yeah.
the podcast.
She is my marketing, and just so we know, the Yes Weekly thing, such and such media just won #1 marketing as service.
Yep.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and
That's
I owe
great.
that.
Maybe we
to
can connect.
her.
I'd love to be able to
Oh,
help
that-
and be.
That's awesome. See, and it's so funny because that's the number 1 or 2 ask for business owners that come to us. Help, I need marketing or I need accounting. Well, it's interesting. We want to have a discussion with people because a lot of times marketing is not the issue. It may be a cash flow issue. It may be a hiring issue or something like that. But marketing is one of those mysterious things that a lot of us don't know about. And it does take time. People can
does.
say all day that social media is free and that, but it takes
Time.
time away
Time
from,
is your biggest
from what
asset,
you're doing.
so,
Yeah. But so that's a huge benefit for us to
'cause
have
I work-
mentors in these
I
subjects.
work with just small businesses because I feel like
good.
they need the help, So,
Yeah, definitely.
and they don't usually have big budgets, but it's crazy. Even at big companies, the first thing always gets cut is marketing. I'm like, well, you can't grow without the marketing. So,
You're right. You're exactly right.
and, so where are you from originally?
I grew up in Alabama.
Cool.
My dad was a professor at the university, but I moved up here in '89, so I consider myself a North Carolinian now. My first job was at the Wake Forest Law School,
Oh, cool.
and so that I've had this kind of various and crazy background.
What brought you to the small business center?
So when I had my baby, I decided that I wanted to do something different, and I became the business development librarian at the Greensboro Public Library. They have that point of contact for the city of Greensboro, and Greensboro has what's called a small business consortium. And I met a gentleman, Jim Donnelly, who now does some other stuff, but he was at the time at the Davidson Davie Community College, and they needed a small business center director. And we talked, and I became that director there. So that was over 10 years ago, but I've been at Forsyth Tech since late 2022.
This is going to be my next question. How long have you? So what do you love about Winston?
Well, I've lived in or around Winston for all this time. When I was at the Davidson Davie Community College, I actually moved to this part of East Winston where the Davidson office or the Davie office was about 20, 25 minutes away. So that was still very convenient, but I live 10 minutes away from downtown Winston-Salem. So I love the arts. I'm a big fan of the arts. I love to help artists make their talent a business and things like that. And I really love the fact that we have a lot of local music, we have a lot of local theater and stuff like that. So I really enjoy.
Do you have a favorite gallery? Since you love art here.
Actually, my favorite gallery right now is in Greensboro. It's called Inspired by Nature, and she makes
I've heard
art
it's good,
using
yeah.
succulents and moss and cool things like that. So that's been my kind of obsession here lately.
Yeah, Greensboro has a good art scene too.
Oh, yes, definitely. Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously we love Winston, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
There are
but I love
city.
Trade Street, and I used to go to Trade Street even way back when they had the music on 6th Street and stuff like
yeah.
that. But I love that we have all the downtown events and things.
You know Dewey's Bakery for its iconic sweets and treats, the sugar cakes, the thin cookies, and the cake squares, especially on Mondays when you can get one of those delectable squares for free. But during these hot months, you can't forget about the ice cream. Made from scratch and featuring all your favorite flavors, Dewey's Ice Cream is the perfect way to beat the heat this summer. And what do we always tell you about Dewey's? It's the place for all of life's celebrations. And in the summer, that means weddings. Since 1930, Dewey's has been crafting delicious wedding cakes, plus custom cupcakes and groom's cakes. Team up with one of their celebration specialists to find the perfect fit for your special day. To get started, just email cake@deweys.com or swing by the Thruway location in Winston-Salem. And for any of your everyday cravings, you can also visit the store at Rinalda Manor or at Friendly's Shopping Center in Greensboro. Dewey's, celebrate every day. It's time to get serious about your financial future. It's never too early, but it could be too late to get started. And that's oftentimes the hardest part, getting started. How much do I save? Where do I invest? Do I save for college or retirement? How much for each? And who do I talk to about it all? Okay, we'll keep things simple for now and help you answer the last one. We recommend you begin with a local financial advisor, and that's Jennifer Johnson of Three Magnolias Financial Advisors. She'll sit down with you for a complimentary introductory consultation and go over all of your questions. Get started on the path to achieving your financial goals. Visit threemagnoliasfinancialadvisors.com or call 336-701-1600. Get comfortable with your financial future. Three Magnolias Financial Advisors, retirement, financial planning, and investments. Securities offered through Private Client Services, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Three Magnolias Financial Advisors. Three Magnolias Financial Advisors and Private Client Services are not affiliated. Private Client Services is under separate ownership from any other named entity.
I believe they're bringing the Summer on Trade back to Trade Street.
I think they are.
Because I'll be performing.
Very good, because I know they do their Art Crush there now.
Yeah,
So-
which took the place of the
Gallery Hop.
the Gallery Hop. Yeah.
There's also the music on 4th and stuff still this
Yeah.
summer.
Yeah, the jazz
all
stuff. Yeah.
those. There's a lot.
Music on 4th. The jazz is right down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the
Corpening
park,
Plaza. Yeah. So what's one piece of advice you would give small business owners if you could just pick anything that's like, what would that be?
Plan and use resources. Winston-Salem has an incredible ecosystem. We were just had a meeting the other day, and we have 42 organizations on our email list. And I say, if you have time, use as many that you can that are free. Now, some are more conducive to other types of organizations. We typically help small, like less than 10 employees. I do have some that have grown and then have added a lot of employees, like restaurants and things like that. But we do tend to help the very small, because those are the people that have a struggle to build that team, which is also another very important piece. Is if you can't afford to have an attorney or an accountant and that kind of thing, we can help kind of build that team and have referrals out for subject specialists, mentorships.
I'm sure you've seen all the businesses with what you do. Is there any that's been like crazy unique and you're like, oh, that's such a cool idea that you can share about?
Yeah, we've had some urban farming, which is always neat because I'm very much a proponent of that. We've had some really neat ideas, possibly patentable ideas, and things, even though that's very hard to get.
I was just say, do you guys help with? Because I have no idea how to get a patent. Is that
We
something you can
do
help?
not help with intellectual property, because that's a specialist.
Gotcha.
And even though I do have a law degree, I don't practice law in North Carolina, but I always say I know enough to get me in trouble. We know enough to do the beginning stages of at least researching, hey, does somebody have
Point
this
them in the
name
right
for
direction.
a trademark and that kind of thing. But we do have attorneys that specialize in that. And we can, fortunately, the state of North Carolina has funded some extra funding for small business centers to provide what I call our indirect grants, which means we can actually pay for certain types of work. So we can pay for legal work if we need an attorney to review a contract or review a lease or something like that. So that can be very helpful to try to get those very small businesses working in certain areas that they may not be able to afford and therefore skip, which we hate to see. Those important things like skipping, like it hurts my heart when someone comes up to me and says, I signed a lease and now I'm not sure if I can afford the lease and things like that. That type of review of the leases and that type of financial planning is what's very important.
Yeah, it's definitely needed. So I've not actually been to the small business center. So what's it like? Like what Is it like just one building? Is it a space?
We're actually in the Innovation Quarter.
Okay.
We've been there forever, but now we share the space with Greater Winston-Salem, Inc.
Okay.
And we have a few offices in the back where we all are stationed. We do have a small business center that's an office that people can come schedule with us and use if they need to make phone calls or they need to meet with someone privately and they work at their home and things like that. Carolyn and I both kind of do general counseling, and then we assess which mentor is the best fit or which referral is the best fit and that kind of thing. So we do ask that people, check us out on the website. Register for counseling is that first step because that gives us a notification, and then we can get in touch and make that initial appointment. And then we do have our local events on our website as well.
So how can people find out? What is this website?
Sure. So it's www.forsythtech.edu/SBC. And on there it has our email addresses. Like I said, it has register for counseling, the local events, and also how to register for our newsletter, because that can be very important to see some things that are happening that are, might be extra special and extra beneficial.
Do you have Instagram and Facebook pages?
We do. It's Small Business Center at Forsyth Tech. We have LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
I have Are you guys doing the launch challenge anymore, or did that go away after COVID?
I did a pitch competition. We were ending a grant that was funded by the Truist Foundation. And my pitch competition is focused on existing businesses. So I call it an accelerator rather than a launch.
Okay.
Just finished that. And we did get funding from the Winston-Salem Foundation for our programming in Spanish, and we'll do a pitch competition for them as well.
Awesome.
And that's more of a launch competition.
That's awesome. Yeah, I along with your predecessor, Mr. Alan Younger, we had I won't say a deal. We had an arrangement that when they did the launch challenge, then the finalists, before it was announced, would come on the Less Desirables podcast and just introduce themselves and what they did and everything. I always called it Alan Younger's cast of characters. And we did that. And I would love to find ways of partnering with the SBC to help the
we would
people,
love
however.
it because, as you know, exposure is a huge piece of the pie for people. And I appreciate being on here because I often hear, I didn't know about the service, or I didn't know you were free, and that kind of thing. So, so this is awesome. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, because they think of a service and then they think, well, I have
money.
to pay for service.
Right,
Yeah.
definitely.
I mean, there's not a lot of free resources out there like this, at least. So it's really
and
great.
we're funded by the Department of Commerce, so it is tax paid, so that we've already all paid it.
Yeah.
So
we should
take
use it.
advantage of it. Yeah.
should use it.
Martha, I just want to say I appreciate everything that SBC does, and I appreciate being your friend because since I've known you and once you took over on this, just a lot of good things, and I'm glad I know you.
Well, thank you, and nice to meet you as well. So,
I really hope
hopefully we can work together.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you again for joining us and giving these resources to our community. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Twin City Talk. The views and opinions portrayed by guests on this podcast are not necessarily those of the distributors and hosting companies. And if you love this podcast, that's great, but don't think about stealing it. Reach out to us and talk about the content because it is copyrighted.